So raster-based data is very dense. It has a piece of information and a specific number for every single grid cell. And when we have a digital elevation model, and I'm just going to draw 9 grid cells here to just show part of one raster. And in this case, it's a digital elevation model, meaning each cell is representing an elevation, right? So let's say our elevation in the middle is 51, and then up here we have a 65, and here we have a 58, and here we have, let's say, a 50, and then a 45, and then a 41, and then a 46, and then a 52, and then a 60, right? So this is just a bunch of numbers, but it turns out we can do things with this raster to make these numbers and interpret them in a different way, right? So first, we can imagine the lowest part is over here, the highest part is over here. The first thing we can do is we can calculate the slope. Not only do we know that it's higher here than the center one, and it's lower here than the center one, but we know how much higher it is and how much lower it is. And if we know that difference, you can imagine we can calculate how steep that slope is. So that's the first thing that we can do. And in this case, we know that the slope through the middle here is relatively steep. We've gone from 65 meters down to 41 meters. And so right in the middle, it's going to use all of these surrounding cells to calculate what the slope is. The other thing that it can do is we can actually determine which direction that is facing. In other words, this is what's called the aspect, right? So in this case, the highest part is over here, the lowest part is over here. Not only can it say the slope, but it can say that the slope is pointing in about that direction. And so the aspect, which is the direction the slope is facing, is usually calculated as a compass direction. And so in this case, this is southwest, right? North is 0, we have 90 for east, we have 180 for south, and so we kind of go over here and that gives us 225 for a southwest aspect, right? So it's going to actually do this, and again, it's going to assign a value, a number to this cell, and it's going to create a new raster that's telling us for every single location which direction are things facing and what's the steepness of the slope. Okay? So that's the power of calculation in raster, and particularly using something like a DEM.